All right, I just hit record and we're going to figure it out as we go. I don't really have a plan, but here we go. It's another challenge for myself to just sit down and start fucking talking. So, what's up? It's February 28th. It's 9:21 p.m. And today is day 31 of phase 2 of Live Hard, which, of course, if you know, there is no day 31, which means I successfully completed the program. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about today. So this might be a brief one, this might be a long one, but I am going to do a little bit of a recap. So, and also, one thing I'm going to do, and this is just for documentation purposes, because nobody listens to these at the moment, and that's fine. But I have put some of these recordings into Adobe Audition, and that's just a software editing program that I can enhance, edit, cut, whatever, to the audio, to the podcast that I'm recording now. So right now, this is how it sounds completely raw. It's just the microphone hooked up to my laptop. That's all you're hearing. But now, right now, this is with some effects added to enhance the voice and make it sound a little bit better. And I'm going to put it in here. So hopefully somebody can provide some sort of feedback as to if it sounds better, if they like to sound better versus the normal, which is now normal again. This is normal. And now we're going to put it back with the effects now. Okay, so now I'm talking with the effects, and obviously, at the time of recording, nothing's happening. I'm just saying points because I'm going to go back and edit this in Adobe Audition and add the effects later so we can see how it sounds, and you can see the effects, or I guess hear the effects that I've added, and I guess make the judgment call for yourself whether or not you like it or not. So that's kind of the idea now, because it's kind of either do that or invest in quite a setup. And it's not about the mic or the quality or whatever, as much as it is what I'm talking about and the value that I'm providing. And so before I go dropping hundreds of dollars on a nice setup and a nice mic and everything like that, I'm going to focus on doing these more where I'm sitting down and I have a lot more focus and intent on what I'm talking about. With what I'm talking about. So anyway, all that being said, again, it's February 28th, 9:23 p.m. I'm sitting at my desk. Should be in bed an hour ago, but I'm not. It is what it is. So today, I just wanted to talk about phase 2 of Live Hard and how I completed it, and just touch on some topics. I wrote down a couple notes that I wanted to touch on. There's probably going to be a lot of things that I miss out on talking about, but I'm sure that I'll cover it in later episodes. This one, I'm just trying to force myself to sit down and get going without having much thought and trying to sound as best as I can and slowing down how I'm speaking, focusing on speaking, or I guess saying every word with, I don't want to say intent, that sounds funny, but just slowing down and saying every word so I sound a lot better. And so that's one of my big goals. One of the big goals that I have for the podcast, which isn't even up yet, the new one, I should say, is, let's see, it says, my goals as the host or personal goals for the podcast. So the first one is study words, vocabulary, sentence structure, and effective communication, a minimum of once weekly via a commonplace book, which I saw on YouTube. It's a good idea for learning new words and pretty much changing the way you speak and the phrases and such that you use, and then as well as books. So when I'm reading a book, I try to find new words that I don't know. I highlight them with some highlighter, and then I write in the margins what the definition of that word is. And then I guess I haven't reread the same book twice, but I'll go back, I'll see that I highlighted that word, and I should know what that definition is. So I'm just trying to get better at speaking, and I can say confidently that this episode so far, I'm fucking killing it, and I'm very proud of myself. I think it's flowing very well. I think I sound better with the mic and now with the enhanced audio, with the effects that I've added, which is just a preset. I don't know much about that. So what you're hearing, again, is just a preset, just some effects added to the track, just an audio file with some filters. That's it. But anyway, kind of the focus, I guess. So far we got some good flow. I'm speaking pretty good. So anyway, phase 2, Live Hard, completed it. 30 days long. The rules are the same as 75 hard, which is one workout outdoors and then a second workout indoor or outdoor. Drink 1 gallon of water. Take a progress photo. Read 10 pages of a self-development or nonfiction or business or whatever book, and then follow a diet and then no cheat meals or alcohol, and it must be done before I go to bed for the night. So that's 75 hard, but that's also live hard, and live hard is phase 2 of live hard, and phase 2 is only 30 days, whereas 75 hard is obviously 75. And according to the book, the focus for phase 2 is the intent and where your focus and your mind is at during the program. And I can confidently say that phase 2 was a lot better for me because there was a lot more focus on the minor details of the program. So instead of reading 10 pages and sometimes, I guess, zoning out mid-page or mid-paragraph and then kind of just going on, I would force myself to reread that entire page or the paragraph or whatever I was doing. I would force myself to make sure that I was comprehending and at least retaining as much as I possibly could of the information that I was reading. And if I got to the bottom of a page and I didn't even remember reading it, I would force myself to go back, reread it, make sure that I understood it. And I'm pretty sure I just did the same thing twice, but I don't care. So that's it. So the focus was the intent and doing everything the right way, doing everything. I don't know how else to say it, just with intent, with focus, with a goal in mind to be the best at whatever I'm doing in that moment. So if I'm reading a book, I'm going to do my best to read that book and read every page and retain as much information as possible. If I'm working out, I'm going to make sure that every rep of every set is done to the best of my ability. The form's there, the intensity's there. I'm pushing myself. I'm making sure my rest times are there. And pretty much that's it. And I also tightened down my diet. So I put some more restrictions, such as no caffeine. And I guess you could say that technically it's not that because I'm trying to develop a pre-workout product that does have caffeine. And so as a result, I did consume caffeine only in pre-workout, but I didn't have any coffee that I normally would have. I didn't have any energy drinks that I normally would have or anything of the kind. It was just in the pre-workout. So, and then I tightened my diet down a little bit more. And so I only allowed myself 90 grams of fat, which I'm sure somebody out there is going to say, well, that's a shit ton. You shouldn't, going from hundreds to 90. It's quite a change in the way that I approach my meals. Also, I'm bulking. So it made it even more difficult for me. There's plenty of times at night where I was sitting there at the fridge trying to figure out what I could cook or what I could prepare to give me my calories, my protein, and everything while staying under the fat. And it was very difficult, but I did it. There's plenty of times where I had to force feed myself right before bed and chug a half gallon of water. Matter of fact, hold on one sec. I'm not even on the program, but I'm definitely going to keep going with a lot of these. So I actually bumped the USB port, I guess, with my phone when I set it down and it stopped recording. And I thought that I wasn't even recording when I clicked back on this thing. So that was a nightmare because I've been fucking killing it, I think, so far compared to the other episodes. So I got upset. But no, I didn't say much after. All I said was I've got these habits that I track. And so as of today, when everything's done, I'll have 132 podcasts in a row recorded, not missing one day. So these are all streaks. 97 days in the cold plunge. Drink a gallon of water at 31 days. 31 days of tracking my daily nutrition intake. 31 days of 225 grams of protein or more. And then 18 days completing the nightly form that I do where I track my behaviors and try to find patterns and common denominators in my behavior so I can see why I have good days and why I have bad days and how I can maximize those to just have better days more often. Because if I can have a good day every day forever, that's a pretty good, I would like that. That's something I desire. So, or at least the best day that I could have given the circumstances or whatever. So anyway, all that being said, I just wanted to touch on some things with phase 2. So with the previous phases, I always did a workout before work. And at the moment I work at 5 a.m. I get up at 2:30. So that means I have to wake up around 2:30 to get ready for the workday, pack my lunch, get dressed, all that stuff, and then hit the gym. So I could go to the gym, be there by 3:30. It's 45 minutes. I finish about 4:15 to 4:30. Then I drive to my shop. I change. I get ready. I'm ready to go for work by 5. And I've always done that with 75 and the first phase of Live Hard, as well as, I guess, technically the second phase of phase 1, which I failed. So it's always been that way. But with phase 2, I didn't do that. I actually chose to sleep longer, woke up, went to work, came home, or went directly from work to the gym. And then the minute that I was done with my workout, I would say, set a timer for 3 hours, and my phone would set a timer for 3 hours. And then I would go home, I would read, I would try to record a podcast. I would try to get other things done that I needed to get done, or just whatever I needed to do for the day, whether that's shopping or whatever. And so, and then the alarm would go off and I'd be aware of that. And so I'd be ready to go do my outdoor workout within 5 minutes of that alarm going off. Then I'd go and do my outdoor workout, which is the time that I needed to go to bed, which sucks. And I've definitely not been sleeping well whatsoever, or as good as I should. And anyway, point being, I've never done it that way. I've never done both workouts after work. I don't think that's a good way to approach the program. It definitely prevents you from having any kind of social life, because if you're doing 2 workouts after work, that's a minimum of an hour and a half. And if you only have maybe 5 hours after work, it's just not practical to have shit going on. But you know me, I'm a loner, no friends. It's all good. Got my own shit going on. And so I didn't mind it. So I did that, and that was a little bit different. So pretty much I didn't have a single task completed up until about 4 p.m. and I would go to bed at 9. So I completed all of my days within the last 5 hours of the day, almost every single time. And it was a little bit different with FedEx, because on the FedEx days, I would wake up and I'd go to the gym beforehand, but it was very laborious work. It was very taxing on me. And so when I did get home, it also was later. And so, is this even recording, dude? I'm about to flip out. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, so when I would get home from work, I'd be very exhausted. It would be even later, so maybe 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and I was just gassed, and I would still have to do an outdoor workout, an ice plunge, and read and all that stuff. So it was very difficult for me to do, but I still got it done, and I'm proud of that. So again, that's just to say that this phase, I did it differently. I did both workouts after work, which was a complete change of how I've done the entire program up to this point. And going off of that, the best days that I had were when I got shit done early. When I got an ice bath done earlier in the day, if I worked FedEx or if I did an outdoor workout first, and then I came home from work and I had to go to the gym, because I look forward to going to the gym. That's exciting for me. But I didn't have to take an ice bath later, and I already read or whatever it may be, or I already took my vitamins or whatever, or already halfway done with my gallon. That made a very good fucking day for me. And I think that's one of the one of the common denominators between the good days that I've had, is when I get my shit done early and I wake up and I begin executing immediately, rather than waking up kind of moseying around and then I think, oh, I better start doing shit. My best days were done when I got my stuff done earlier in the day and when I got the hard tasks done first. Now, an ice bath has no place in this program. It's not a rule, and it never will be. But I'm on a streak. I got 97 days in a row, so 3 more, and I have 100 days in a row of a 39-degree ice bath for 5 minutes. And I actually just got in. I just barely got out maybe 30 minutes ago after just eating an ice cream. And it was actually very cold, because I guess my body temperature, I don't know. I'm not even going to pretend like I know what's going on, but just had a shit ton of ice cream. So I was already kind of cold. And then I got in an ice bath, and I'm very proud of myself, because I don't have to do any of this. And especially now, not on the program anymore. The training wheels are off. I'm free game. I can do whatever. I don't have to do shit, but the fact that I'm still doing it, that gives me more pride, knowing that I'm off program, I'm off the structure, I don't have training wheels right now, and I'm still giving it my best. That's a good feeling. And I need to drink this water. It's staring at me. Still got 40 ounces. I'm not going to let that streak die. So anyway, those best days that I had were when I got shit done early, and that's it. So again, the program was intent focused. So I focused on every rep set, every page, every word, every drop of water, making sure, no shit, multiple times. So I've got a hydro jug, and I love the product, but it leaks, and I'm not happy with that. I'm going to skip all over the customer service and shit, but it leaks. And so there was one time I was getting ready for work, and I was going to FedEx, and I bumped the cap ever so slightly, and maybe an ounce of water came out of the jug. Now, this jug holds 128 ounces plus whatever is in the lid, so maybe 132, which is 4 ounces more than a gallon. And I watched maybe an ounce of water fall out of the jug, and I considered that right then and there, if I drink this whole jug, it's not going to count as a gallon because I watched water fall out of it. And if you're being technical here, that's not a fail because an ounce minus 132 is still a gallon. But I forced myself later in the day to add just a little bit more water into the jug, or have a cup of water in from the kitchen or whatever for it to count. And I did it so many times, maybe a dozen times. It happens so often because this fucking thing leaks. So going back to the intent thing, that was part of it. So the water, the pages, the workouts, everything. And it changes the game when your mind is 110% in and focused. And it's a hack, it's awesome. And so I completed the program with a lot of intent, and I feel really good about it. And yeah. So, and then another thing that happened was I hit multiple PRs during this phase. And that's not a result of the phase, but it is a result of the whole program and the discipline it has given me to push myself in the gym to reach those new personal records in the gym with weights, because this is the strongest I've ever been in my life. Not legs, because my legs are weak as shit, because I'm taking it very easy, and I'm very paranoid with the whole lower back issue, because recently I was in a lot of pain again, and I thought that I had made all this progress and I'd come so far back. Made such a comeback, I should say, Jesus, for me to just lose it all again, And so I got really down in the mud with all that, but I'm good again. And I'm just going to take it extremely serious and be very cautious, because it's not worth it to me. If I never squat again, so be it, dude. If I never deadlift again, I don't care. I do not want to be in pain. I want to be functional. I want to have shit going. I want to be able to lift weights and not have to worry about doing something to my back or whatever. It's just not worth it. My quality of life is absolute dog shit with a very painful back. But I hit a lot of PRs, and that's not a result of this phase, like I just said. It's a result of me doing the phases consistently, not giving up and pushing myself. And it just so happens that during this phase, I hit a lot of different PRs, and that's just a compound effect in full effect right there. Started 6 or 7 months ago. I guess it's 7 now. Well, let's see. So that'd be that'd be August, September, October, November, December, January, February. So almost 8 months, because next in 2 days it'll be March 1st, and that'll be 8 months. So for now it's 7. But anyway, it just compounded, gave me the strength I have now, and I'm hitting PRs left and right, which is incredible. It is so cool. So I hit 225 on decline bench, which I've never done in my life. Never done 2 plates on decline bench. And for all the strongmen out there, that's probably pussy weight. But for me, that's a big accomplishment. I'm proud of it. And so it makes me feel like that 3-plate goal that I always had from as being a little kid is actually within reach. So talked about that last episode. But anyway, that's all I actually wrote down for phase 2 for the Live Hard program, for a quick recap. But I guess one thing I'll add, and I have no structure for this, so I'm just going to freeball it here. I guess I'm just realizing now that my standards really are much higher than they have ever been. And I don't see myself any differently. I'm not sure how to explain it. I used to feel very unconfident, very insecure. I still do. And unsure and without direction in my life. And I still feel some of those ways to very minor extents, but the overall view of myself hasn't changed in the good ways and bad ways. I still feel like I'm a little bit skinny. I'm not that strong. I don't feel like I'm that confident. I don't feel like I have that much going, but it's evident now by the fact that I've completed 3 phases of the program. I have developed so much discipline and grit and resilience. and I've committed to so many different things, and I have not quit, and I refuse to quit. And with that whole Facebook thing last episode, it's clear to me that my standards are the highest that they've ever been in my entire life with so many different things. I was recently actually talking with a girl, and immediately I knew right off the bat, I just didn't want to talk with this person anymore, judging by some of the things they were saying based on the substance of the conversation. And that's one thing that I've actually gotten okay with, and I haven't had much reps with that. But when you listen to people like Alex Hormozy and Chris Williamson talk about specific topics, when you listen to them and their point of view, and they have great points, it's very reassuring to know that there's people out there that also have crazy mentalities who have a crazy, that's not even the right word. I take all that back. It's great to listen to those people who live such a different life, voice crack, good Lord, who live such a different life with different expectations and desires because they see life differently through a different lens. And it just so happens that that lens has given them the life that they have and the success that they have. And so when I listen to those people who can think for themselves, who share great points, it changes the way that I think, because I know that they are independent thinkers and what they came up with is probably from them and them only. Meaning this perspective or this insight is from them as a person and not them as a culmination of all the people that they've learned from. At least that's how it comes out across to me. So when they're talking about this or that, I don't know what the word would be, but it is nice, I guess, to listen to fresh perspectives instead of hearing the same regurgitated shit. And anyway, one of the things that he says, Alex, if I could do my voice cracks one more time, I'm in the show. One of the things, hold on, let's get some water in me. Hold on one sec. I'm going to leak all over here. 1 second. Hold on. See, for anyone who says you can't drink water, that was 20 ounces. You do that 6 times in a day, that's a gallon. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, one of the things he says is he puts his, what do they call it, in particularities out there for people to hopefully recognize those as things that they're interested in, as the partner's interested in. So if I put out there, I like to work all the time. I like to podcast. I like to push myself. I like self-development. I like challenge myself and growing. If I put that out there, a lot of people will see that and think, wow, what a fucking weirdo. I want nothing to do with that shit. But then there's going to be one person who says, I love all of that. So if that's his worst shit, I want in. And that's what I'm becoming okay with. And I think that relieves a lot of pressure off of me of trying to find some kind of partner now. Because I want a partner that respects what I got going on, but also has their own shit going on and also is on a similar path or a similar wavelength as me. And if they're not that, I'm not interested. And that's kind of where it begins and ends. So I was talking with this girl, and when I said that I like to work all the time and I had a lot of shit going on, they replied with, I need to take a break. I'm going to get burnt out. And I thought, you don't get it? That's okay, but I'm no longer interested in having a conversation. You know, that's literally what I thought. And so now we don't talk. So it's all good. I'm not complaining whatsoever. I'd like to find someone who shares the same shit as me instead of being, I mean, dude, I'm allowed to be picky. This is the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. They're going to be what I want, or I die alone, and I'm cool with that. At least I can say I never settled, because that's some weak shit. And I will never do that. So anyway, I don't know where I was going with all of that, but I'm just, my standards are higher than they've ever been. I'm pretty sure that's where I was at. I don't know. I don't care. See, this is when I don't have notes. I'm just trailing off. So, but it was, phase 2 is great, dude. It's great. So very proud of myself, and I'm very excited to keep going. So anyway, we have a 4-month hiatus between phase 3, and then phase 3 starts June 29th. So that will be in 100. Hey Siri, what day will it be on June 29th, 2024? That's not what I meant to ask, dude. Hey Siri, how many days until June 29th, 2024?
It's 122 days until then.
So this is episode 133. So that means it'll be episode 255. We will be starting phase 3. And then episode 285, we will be finishing phase 3. And that will be the day that I complete Live Hard. So episode 286, you're going to hear a full live recap. A full Live Hard recap. God. Of Live. What, bro? You're going to hear a full year recap of Live Hard, which is in the title of this podcast. It's a daily documentation of Live Hard program, which I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the next 4 months, because that's 122 days of not being on the program. So I'm not sure how I will document that, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, anyway, one last thing. Anybody who's not done the program or who is just thinking about it, to just do it. It changed my life. It changed my life forever. Changed the way I think, changed the way I see things. My standards are sky high for me in my life personally right now. The way that I approach things, the way that I prioritize things, my priority, I can't recommend it enough. And there's no way for you to know the effects of the program unless you do it for yourself and get the benefits and the rewards yourself. I can't stress it enough. It is such a valuable program, and you would be foolish to not ever at least try it once. And I say try, and you're not supposed to say try. I guess I should say attempt. You should attempt it with full commitment, with full intent to finish, and give it your absolute best. And the beautiful part about it all is you need to focus on today. That's it. And then tomorrow you focus on that day, and that's it. And then the next day you focus on that day, and that's it. And all you have to do is do that 75 times, and your life will never be the same. You do it with proper intent. You have the utmost integrity. You do your best to do everything the right way, the best way, to your highest standard possible. Your life will never be the same. I get absolutely nothing for sharing this program. I'm not affiliated with it whatsoever. It's a free program, period. I just want people to do it so they know, so they can catch a glimpse of what their true potential is. Phase 1 did that for me. I learned so much about myself and caught a glimpse of what my life could look like if I keep up the work that I was doing in that phase. And that's quite it's quite close to my maximum at the moment. And so we need to expand that. And the only way to expand it is keep working the muscle and flex it, let it grow. Muscle gets bigger. We can expand and keep going. Because as of right now, I don't know if I can maintain that level of execution for much longer than that. Well, I have to end the show. I just cracked my voice. So, yep. No, I'm just playing. That level of execution now is quite Jesus, it's quite close to my limit. Did not realize how long this show was going. Holy shit, 3 minutes, huh? Anyway, just do the program. Just commit 75 days. If you live to be 100 years old and you do the program and it takes 75 days, I don't know the math off the top of my head, but it's like 0.005% of your life. You can do it. You absolutely can. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend you look into the program and you complete it. And I guess to save my ass, because someone will say something, you definitely need to consult your physician, your doctor, or whoever before starting any kind of exercise program. And you should make sure that you are safe, capable, and able to do so before doing any kind of nutrition or fitness or any kind of program of the kind. So just to save my ass in case someone tries to screw me over, because there will be somebody someday. But anyway, that's it. That's the show. And I'm actually going to be really poetic about this, and I'm going to leave it at 30 minutes long because 30 minutes is equivalent to 30 days, or, 30. So it's 30 days for phase 2. It's episode 132 of Live Hard. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Peace.